we're going to look at linear and circular patterns. Not sketch patterns, but proper part patterns or feature patterns. So up here we have got our pattern tool. And if we were to click on it, it would tell us we need some entities to pattern. So on here, we're going to make some holes in these two parts that I've just created very quickly. So to do that, we want to sketch on them. So use our sketch shortcut of S, click on the sketch tool, and then we're going to have some circles. So I'm going to click C as the circle shortcut, and then N to go normal to. I can click once, drag out, and that gives us our circle. Let's make that 8 millimeters, and then we can dimension it by clicking on D, down from here to here. Let's say that's going to be, oops, let's say it's going to be 5 millimeters by 5 millimeters. And actually, let's make that a little bit smaller. Let's make that 5 as well. We can then extrude that. So I could have gone Shift E. I can change the direction. I can go blind, but I want to remove this surface this time. And I'm going to go up to next. And that's going to take that part only through up to there. And we can green tick that. From there, we're then going to go up to here and click on our linear pattern. And we're not going to be wanting a part pattern. We only want to pattern a feature. So we're going to drop down, click on feature, and then we can select this circle here, the internal part. The direction we want, so that's gone red, so we then select that, is going to be along this line. And it's gone in the wrong direction. So we can flip it by using this little arrow here, and we can change the distance. So let's say it's going to be 10 millimeters, and let's go for, I don't know, 8 of them. Okay, and that sits quite nicely in there. We probably, I don't know, we might want to have this whole part filled with holes. So we're going to have a second direction, which is this part here. Click on the direction, which is this line, and then that will hopefully, once we, I don't know, let's go for 3, add in, we've got 3 different sets of holes. Again, that's a bit too far apart, so if I was to do 5 millimeters, that's now too close. If I do 10 millimeters, that looks pretty good. And if I was to click on centered, it's basically just saying symmetrical, so it's going to make it symmetrical about that point, which we don't want to do. So there is our feature pattern for that linear piece, so going backwards, or sorry, in one direction and then in another direction. If I want to do the same with a circular pattern, it's going to be going around in a circle about a point. Okay, so this is probably going to need something to allow it to go around, but we can have a little play and see. So I'm going to go up to here and I'm going to sketch on this face. Normal 2 again, let's go for a circle. Let's have a circle right on the edge there to show some sort of like external pattern. We'll go for 8, that's constrained automatically because it's touching this line and it's horizontal to here and it's got a dimension. Let's go for an internal one. Let's also make this a little bit smaller at 7. That is not constrained because we need a distance. So if I clicked on D for dimension, let's make that 15. That is now constrained. And we're going to cut that away. So we click on remove. That's taken away those bits. Let's go for something different. Let's go up to face. And we're going to select this face below just there like so. And we now have those holes. So we now want to pattern these. Okay, if I was to go up to here and click on circular pattern, it wants an axis. Okay, we don't really have an axis at the moment. So what we can do is we can add an axis quite straightforward by clicking on here, and I can get my sketch, and I can, sorry, not by clicking on there, by clicking on this part, I can go up to here, I get my sketch, and I can get a line, front on view, and I can simply add an axis all the way through the middle. Okay, it doesn't have to be constrained. It doesn't really matter for the point of this. We know it is central because I made my hole off that central part. So we've got that axis in there, which is good. And now we can use our circular pattern. Again, we're not patterning a part, we're patterning a feature. So we click on feature, and the feature is going to be this hole here, which automatically selects that because it is part of the same feature over here. The axis is going to be this part like so, and you can see it's doing 360, and we've got 4 instances. Let's go for 6, and let's not go for 360, let's go for 270. And you can see it's only going around part of the way. Now these are all equally spaced at the moment, which is what we want, because otherwise it's going to be a little bit chaotic. And again, centered and reapply features is exactly as previously shown here. So let's go back to 360 because that looks a little bit ugly. And there we have got our circular pattern. Now the final thing is your curve pattern. It's basically, if you were to draw a line, it would follow a pattern along that curve. Okay, so if I move this around, let's very quickly sketch on this top face, and let's go for a spline like so. Oops, press escape for that. And let's say I've got a rectangle here like this. Actually, I'm going to do that separately. So we've got that deleted there. We've got that line. If I was to then sketch again, get a rectangle here like so, extrude this. I'm only going to go 25, that's perfect. What you could then do is you could get your curve pattern, and you could entity, this time it is a part because it's a separate part, this one here. Path to pattern it along is going to be this path here. Let's say we're going to go for 8 of them, and equal spacing is what it is. In terms of why it's equal spacing, it's because of the curve and how this trajectory has worked here. It's getting tighter as it gets closer to here, and it's obviously going further apart there. Okay, it's very rare you're going to be using that, but that's just quickly to show you how the different types of pattern work.